Hey, good day, everybody. This is Dennis Wilborn. I want to welcome you to today's session of the recorded session of how to make money trading stocks with active trend trading. I am basically sitting in a hotel room in Paragould, Arkansas. I hope that your family had a wonderful Thanksgiving, and I hope that, like we said last week, that we expected the market to be kind of volatile, and it was in fact volatile. But nothing has really caused the market to be, the uptrend to be threatened right now. We're looking at pullbacks into the moving averages for opportunities to get in on trades on the indexes. We'll see if we get a pullback to a launch point for a Santa Claus rally going forward. Let's take a look at what's going on with the rest of the market. Okay, I am going to stop my video. There we go. And again, welcome to this session of how to make money trading stocks. And this, normally we would do this as a weekly live streaming video on YouTube, our YouTube channel. But today I wanted to make sure that I got the recording out. We were doing a lot of stuff yesterday, getting my mom's stuff into storage. And so we've been, again, doing a lot of family stuff over the last week or so. We will be back to our normal schedule going Wednesday of next week. And so Friday next week, that is the 6th of December, we will be back for our regular live session. Looking forward to getting back home to Hawaii. So what's the market offering us today? One of the things, as I took a look, there was, still the market is still very volatile and very susceptible to moves due to news. It's news-driven events driving the market. What do we have coming up over the next 2 weeks to the last month of the trading year? We have the FOMC meeting, not this week, but week after this. The chance of a let me go here and show you what I'm looking at. The chance of a rate hike is very low, as you can see, 95.6%. Chance that the rates remain as they are between 150 and 175. So anything of the aspect of raising rates low or dropping rates, again, very low. As you can see, it's to drop it down to 125 to 150. About, not even right now, 0% chance. Now, it doesn't mean that can't happen, but it doesn't look like it's a potential at this point. So let's go on back to this slideshow. And just a reminder that all materials we do present are for trading purposes. Traders should always paper trade any new method prior to the risk of their own personal capital. So what are we looking at? Right now, the intent of this session is just timely actionable intel at the end of each week, seeking to clarify and simplify market decisions so wealth can be multiplied. That has been our motto for active trend trading since our inception back in early, about 2007, when we started putting together the pieces for active trend trading. Market review. I'm looking for a pullback to support and then the Santa rally. We'll try to trade into that Santa rally as we get the pullback. And we look at the charts today of the individual indexes. You can see that, especially in the NASDAQ and the S&P, pullbacks into the moving averages work very well. The Russell is providing, it looks like it's trying to launch itself up and try to move back up towards old highs. It hasn't totally shaken itself loose yet from the bounds of a lateral trading range. So just as a reminder, here's where we're at. NASDAQ. NASDAQ tends to get a bid, and it's done this year so far. NASDAQ gets a bid around the October timeframe, runs up into the end of December. We are currently in December. This is the first time this weekend as you're doing your reviews. Please take a look at your monthly charts because your monthly charts will provide additional confirmation or of either weakening market, strengthening market, or that things are going to remain the same. Here's where we're sitting as of close of business yesterday in the market. It was a holiday shortened Friday. As you can see, we're up about 28.5%. With the exception of the NASDAQ, we are beating the rest of the market entities so far this year. And if you have signed up to become even a free member of Active Trend Trading, you can get, we update our Power Rank and other elite list every weekend. This is the one for this weekend. Now, I did the homework on this last night. Here are the top 15 Power Ranked stocks, starting with INCY. Interesting, BABA's kind of starting to come back onto the scene. ES&T, Paycom, and you can just work your way down here. We're starting to see a little bit of movement in the biotechs, so something to keep your eye on. Let's take a look at the individual stocks or individual charts. Let's go to the daily, weekly chart. I'll blow this up. Daily, weekly chart. Here is the SPY. SPY has moved back up into the, there was a couple of different channels that the SPY was working in within a megaphone top that we had that came from this high here to this high here and then that high right there. And as you can see, it broke out from that and is now moving up again. As we can see, oftentimes when you have a long-term trend line like that, people can, we can look at that as right now price action is actually getting perhaps ahead of itself. Let's say weekly chart, well above the moving averages. The longer term moving average, nice strong uptrend, but is it time to buy the S&P? Well, no. Shorter term traders, you may want to look for a pullback into the 8 or the space in between the 8 and the 20. That has held up very nicely since we broke out and moved higher in the middle of October. So that's what we're looking at. One of the things to keep in mind though, momentum, we have pushed up to a new high. Momentum did not. We have negative divergence on a daily momentum chart. That's the TSI. And also the longer term market forecast is not turned over yet, but we'll be keeping our eye on that. So a little bit of mixed signals there. Let's take a look at the Qs. The Qs are telling us what? The Qs are basically giving us kind of a similar type signal. We pushed up off the 8. However, negative divergence. What does that negative divergence look like? And I'll just draw this in for you really quick. As you can see, we are getting, there we go, negative divergence. What that means is your momentum is basically, it's diverging from what your price action is doing. Price actions hit a new high. Momentum did not. Similar situation here. We had a nice breakout where we had declining momentum here, came all the way up, but we are still working at, this is a higher high from this high back here. However, even the weekly momentum is still below where it was back at the, when is that? That was back in April 2019. Drawings. So what am I looking at? Yeah, we still have to trade the pullbacks into the moving averages once we get a trigger back up to the upside. So that's what we're waiting for. Would I trade this to the downside right now? Before I would trade this to the downside, I would want to see a couple of things. One, I would want to see us get a pullback. Let's say pull back down to around these lows here and a bounce back up where it does not exceed or goes no higher than this high here, and then a reversal down off of that, taking out those lows. If we get a reversal in around this area here, that's where I'd look at saying, okay, that's a good place to get short. But right now, we do not have that confirmation working for us yet. Let me blow this up. Okay, IWM is our last one. Now, this is what I was talking about IWM. As you can see here on the weekly chart, we just broke out the top of the little channel that I've been working in since going back to February of this year. We just broke out the top of it. Now it's coming back down in and looking like it wants to retest. All the moving averages longer term are stacked in the proper direction. What does that mean, stacked? Is that basically the shorter term moving averages are above the longer term. So here we have the 8-week, the 20-week, and the 40-week. The 40-week equates to approximately the 200-day moving average. As you can see that the 40-week is at 153.98, and the actual 200 is at 154.03. We have a nice uptrend going here. So for your work for the weekend, just take a chance, draw a trend line in there. So that's one thing. There's one check. We want to make sure that trend line remains in check. Now, also, as it looks like, the 20-period moving average is running up that trend line. So those two could coincide, where a nice pullback back into the 820, or that gap between, could give you a potential trigger to get into an IWM trade or the leverage ETFs that emulate IWM. We do, in fact, have however, like the other indexes, a negative divergence going on. As you see, higher highs on the price action, but no higher highs on the momentum indicator. So, hey, as a bonus, I want to take a look at a potential trade. I recognize Dr. Steve isn't with us today because I'm doing this on Saturday morning. So I'm going to throw out this trade as a potential for you. It is a pre-earnings trade. We are getting a pullback into the 20-day moving average for the past since it broke out the beginning of October. It has respected the 20. It has come down to a support level at around $96, $97. It may drop a little bit lower, and so we have time to wait for this. I like this level, and I'll highlight it to you here. I like this level at about 95.50 or so. This congestion area, this would pass support where it may bounce from there and bounce back up. And if it ran from 95 up to 100, that's about a 5% gain. And if we get the TSI rolling back up, that would be positive also. I will not jump in this trade just on basically a bounce. I wanted to find it at a support level, and $95 to $96 looks like a good support level. Then the earnings on it, 12.20, and that is 12.20 when? Before the market opens. And so that means that we would need to be out of this trade if we're not going to hold it on the 19th. So that's the indexes. That's the potential setup that I see going on right now. Again, somewhere between 96. I mean, it may hold that 20-day. One of the ways to trade this, if you want to, is you put a trigger down here at about, let's say, $96, and then trigger on the way back up through the 20-day moving average. It's about 76.75. And with the Thinkorswim platform, you can definitely do that. And speaking about the Thinkorswim platform, as many of you may be aware, it appears that Charles Schwab has purchased the TD Ameritrade. And what's going to happen to Thinkorswim? Well, they haven't figured it out yet. So I am going to be searching for a potential, replacement platform if necessary. I love the Thinkorswim platform. It's really served us well. If you are using a platform right now that comes really close to the Thinkorswim platform, let me know what it is, and so I can be evaluating that, because definitely, the Thinkorswim platform was developed, for traders by traders, and so excellent platform. And hopefully not going to mess with it. So hey, moving on over. I do have a restructuring membership is coming, and so what we're saying, we're going to be basically making a special offer. We said prior to Thanksgiving, but what has happened with with the family circumstances for us, so that's not going to happen prior to Thanksgiving. But we will launch something out, a special next week. To basically, you're going to want to take advantage of this special if you're not a premium member. The restructuring membership. There's going to be a one-time shot for you to get in while you can at the lowest rate active trend trading premium membership will ever be at. There are moneymakers coming up on the 7th, and we'll see what's going on in Honolulu for the meetings in Honolulu. And then last but not least, hey, if you have not seen the active trend trading trade journal, I encourage you to go to YouTube, to Amazon. You can check out Trade Journal and Trading Log by Active Trend Trading. Let me give you a quick peek of what this looks like. My youngest son, Brandon, did an absolutely fabulous job in developing this platform, and let me show you. You can just take a real quick look. Take a look inside. What we have inside this is one quick starts. How to get started in trading if you've never traded before. We have free video trading on the Thinkorswim, or the Active Trend Trading. The Active Trend Trading website. And then you get onto contents. What are the contents? Get into the rules, how to use this trading manual. And it shows exactly what we have going on here. And you can actually get into, here's my trading rules. You develop that. One thing it didn't have there is actually the setup on the individual journal entries, but dynamite good stuff. Again, you can go to, it's 160 plus pages of a journal, and so it'll last you for quite a while. Okay, with that, guys, I'm going to basically just call it a day and say, hey, looking forward to you finish strong, start strong in 2020, keep growing the egg, and no final hour today, but I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving, and please have a great weekend, and we'll be, like I said, getting back to our normal schedule after Wednesday of next week. Until later, I want to thank all of you and for all your support, and also all your thoughts and prayers as we're going through the time with my mom. So until next week, aloha and God bless everybody. Well, Dennis Wilborn.